it is also equally important that we do not, as my grandmother said, let the fox watch the hen house. So what we're doing, we've created legislation and filed that legislation to create a Title VI compliance authority. And that authority will be a quasi-public private entity. And that entity will be charged with the responsibility of monitoring state compliance with Title VI to ensure that state departments and agencies, as well as their subrecipients, do not discriminate, that they comply with the state bill as well as the federal statute.
Very good. I would imagine, Reverend Jerkins, that this will probably be a part of African American Day on Capitol Hill this coming Tuesday, will it not? Yes. And why don't you give our audience some idea of some of the organizational plans for this, and in essence, give us as much information as you care to give, indicating the importance of this event.
Our committee, under the direction of Representative Brooks and other persons who serve in the leadership, has been meeting for several weeks, getting ready for this grand day. And we're excited about this day. We've been in contact with the ecumenical leaders. And
that's this Tuesday, Baptist. Coming Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday. We've been in touch with all of those persons who are ecumenical leaders of the various denominations in the community, across the state of Tennessee, Knoxville, from one end to all the way to Memphis on the other, and all of the cities in between. And we're looking forward to these persons, pastors bringing congregations with buses and vans. Our intent is to impact our legislators, to let them know that African Americans in the state of Tennessee does care about economic development. And it is not something we're simply talking about. It is something we intend to see that is fulfilled. So the fact that it's been 29 years since this legislation has been a federal law, the fact that our municipalities have been receiving this money and dispersing it any kind of way that they want to do it by just simply filling out a little slip saying they are in compliance, the fact that the controller now will have the authority to monitor these persons and to call their hand when they are not in compliance is very important and need to be discussed not only with the African American community, but with all of those persons who are going to be responsible for dealing with this Title VI program.
Now, most of that, Representative Brooks, will be done through a coalition, will it not? There's some kind of economic development coalition. Why don't you talk about that and give us some idea as to what that is all about?
The African American Economic Development Coalition actually is it's an entity, statewide, African American Economic Advocacy Organization. You see, we have a lot of needs in our community, and when you look at all the needs, the social ills and all the pathologies, the underlying cause or the root cause of that is poverty. We realize we need to bring more dollars into the African American community, and that's the purpose of the African American Economic Development Coalition, to advocate for economic empowerment. It's an economic advocacy organization. Now, that organization will be, is primarily responsible for bringing us together and sponsoring African American Church Day on the Hill. Now, some of the other activities that will be sponsored on that day, the participants will have the opportunity to attend committee meetings on Tuesday. They'll also have the opportunity to attend a briefing session with the legislative leaders. I know right now Speaker Jimmy Napie has confirmed, also the chairman of the Senate and the House Finance, Ways and Means Committee. Those are the committees that control the purse strings, our tax dollars here in the state of Tennessee. In addition, all of the participants will have the opportunity to visit with their legislators in their offices, and they'll have an opportunity to talk and ask questions, those kinds of questions that, again, impact the economic
people are truly
of the
coming
community.
to Capitol Hill to talk to their representatives. Is that the idea?
That is the idea, and in fact, we want the people to have a first-hand view of their legislature at work. Legislative operations at work. You can come and, in fact, we're going to have this program structured so that they won't have to leave the plaza for lunch. Lunch will be provided there. But it will be informative, it will be educational, and it will show you how you can impact the political arena and bring back more money to your community and help meet some of the needs that you have.
Brother Jerkins, as the member of the recruitment committee, what can you say to those pastors who might be listening this morning to encourage them to get out and support and at least duplicate the efforts that you were able to give in bringing the Clarksville group down to the first session? What can you say to those folks this morning?
It's imperative that we have all of our pastors. If we have pastors that are bivocational, that is, they have another job, they're working, it is so important that they take off that day. If we have persons who say, well, I can't come because I'm working, it's important that you take a leave day. It's just that important that we have those persons who are members of congregations, African-American churches, on the Hill. Remember, there are some people, there are so many people who have never been to visit their state capital. As a matter of fact, when I mentioned this in one of my officers' meetings, I had two of them said, I'm going to take off that day. I've never been to the Capitol. And now, if you go up there by yourself, you may be intimidated. You don't know where to go, you don't know who to turn to, or that kind of thing. But if you go with a crowd, you've got people from your own community who you can go with, you feel comfortable with other folk there, and this is a perfect time for anyone who has not been to the Capitol, certainly to go and meet their legislators.
Very good. And of course, there are